All right. Hello. Happy Sunday, everybody. We are getting ready to do the full moon forecast in Aries. Just let it do its thing for a second here. Get it warmed up. I hope you guys can hear me. All right. Looks like it's up and running. So I do apologize for the last video I did a couple of weeks ago. I was using StreamYard and it just was not, the recording just did not come out how I wanted it to. So do apologize. So that's why I'm doing it live on here. So we do have an aggressive full moon on Monday, October 6th. This is going to happen about 11:48 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And this is a super moon, which occurs when the full moon is at or near its closest point to Earth in its orbit, making it appear larger and brighter than the average full moon. This is also the hunter's moon, or a travel moon, as it represents a time for the harvesting of goods such as foods like fruits, veggies, meats, grains. And in the early days, they would even harvest wools for the winter season ahead. The ancestors used the brightness of this moon to help in hunting and traveling. This is also the time to begin stocking up on things like firewood, getting canning going, canned goods, supplies for winter months ahead, things like that. Samhain, which is October 31st, it is considered the last harvest day of the season, or of 2025. It's also a pagan new year. So now I've seen a lot, before I go on, I've seen a lot of things on TikTok talking about it being a harvest moon. And please note that the solar energies change every year, but a January moon is always going to be the wolf moon. A September moon or an October moon will always have certain aspects. This moon is a hunter's moon. So I just wanted to clear that confusion up, because I see a lot of people posting about things like that. Now, the Aries full moon always takes on an impatient, energetic kind of energy, even aggressive energy in some ways. Many will feel this energy with a lot of impatience, rash thinking, lack of forethought or self-control, rushing around, making quick decisions at a very, very fast pace. That's not good. Slow down. You have to slow down. The negative energy of this aggressive and the negative of this energy is aggression and violence, especially with a strong Mars or Aries placements within one's own birth chart. Now, Aries must learn by trial and error, so this is a time to really think before you speak, before taking any action. You will thank yourself later for it. Now, Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is what? The Lord of War. And this is the warrior or the hunter of the zodiac. The world at large can feel this energy with big egos from world leaders, a warlike mentality, and some being unhinged and completely out of touch with reality. This moon definitely brings like a thirst for blood that will be present, so just be prepared for that. And in big bold letters here on my Patreon page, free newsletter will be posting, do not purchase any kind of firearms or weaponry at this time. So these next 2 weeks are not a time to do any purchase guns, ammo, claymers, knives, firearm, anything like that. Now, this moon can bring action without proper communication, and once it begins to wane, expect dangerous and dramatic news in regards to wars in general, violence, explosions, fires, and conflict from around the world. Most humans will have very little patience with each other, or even themselves for that matter. And this full moon's energy will prove to bring out the aggression or aggressiveness of mankind. And it can manifest into something extremely malevolent if we're not careful. So just take that into consideration. A more positive aspect of this full moon's energy will be how Aries can set things in action, creating new ideas, making bold moves. Just wait till the waxing moon phase to do all that. This is the planning stage. This sign, in its positive direction, is all about adventure, bravery, new inventions, innovations, and plans coming into focus. This also requires taking a lead from time to time, which is something Aries loves. Now, it will be all the fire signs and cardinal signs that feel this full moon strongly, but all those souls born with a sun, a moon, an ascendant or rising, or a dragon's head or tail in Aries, of course, you all feel it the absolute strongest. Now, you do want to watch your tone with others around the 7th of October, which is just a few days away, because Mercury, which is in Scorpio, is going to square Pluto in Aquarius. And some of us will not be able to hold our tongues. Mercury in Scorpio will just let it rip. And this energy is about telling someone exactly how it is. So you have been warned. Okay. The good news about luck, fortune, and money, though, could arrive the very next day on October 8th, when Venus in Virgo sextiles Jupiter, which is in Cancer, exalted. So it's at its highest form of energy. Um, as the stars give it, they can also take it away. And an opposition between Venus in Virgo and Saturn in Pisces on October 11th can signal some financial hardships for some people. And that brings on an intense emotions that go along with that. So if something great happens on the 8th, don't let it fall right through your fingers. Plan. Or that 11th opposition, you'll feel it really badly. Now, it gets better, though, because there is a double trine on October 14th between Venus and Uranus and Venus and Pluto. This is all um, air signs. It's like double air trines. So air signs most definitely will feel this, but so will other signs as well, depending on where these fall by house and sign. And this will lighten the mood with a lot of fun surprises and that love that can bring intense emotions. So it's a nice energy. Now, October 17th, this brings a nasty square between the Sun and Jupiter. And this is going to be creating a lack of forethought or discipline. Some of us, not all, but some of us could be very ungrounded this day, very not able to put our words, think before we speak kind of energy. That's why there's going to be a lack of forethought and discipline. So just keep that in mind on that day, because the very next day, on the 18th, a double trine hits between Mars and the true node in Pisces, and Mercury and true node once again in Pisces. And Mars is in Scorpio. Mercury will be in Scorpio. So this is going to be making for more harmonious communication. But when it is in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, it's really about not sugarcoating things. It's really letting the truth rip, even if that hurts feelings. Um, but harmony, it's all in how you say it, okay? Words matter. Words have power. The tone of our voice matters. So you go into it with a little more forethought. That's the word of the week here, forethought. And this is also going to bring, this trine is not just going to bring harmonious communication, but it is also going to bring some strong insight into things. Now, on October 20th, this brings a strong conjunction between Mercury and Mars. And this is where the mind will be acute, it will be sharp, and full of mental energy. So, definitely something to look forward to on the 20th. Now, Mercury actually enters Scorpio tomorrow, October 6th. And Mercury moves into Scorpio, and this is where no one can pull the wool over no one's eye. It's impossible. And the investigative mind will be on full display. So, souls born with this placement, if you are a person that is born with a Mercury in Scorpio, um, usually these souls make excellent investigators, whether that's in the police field or in the paranormal world. Excellent paranormal investigators. Scorpio rules science, it rules medicine, research, metaphysics, and even corporate endeavors. So their mind, Mercury and Scorpio, their mind becomes like a human radar detector in some ways. And this is where if you slip up, they will detect it and expose your lies. Most Scorpios in general do not like liars, and I know this from having many friends who are Scorpios, and it's always that's I hate liars. I hate liars. Now these souls, Mercury and Scorpio souls, can be born police officers, cops, profilers, medical examiners, morticians, and even financial investors. They would do well probably in the occult and metaphysical world as well, on a side note here. All right, moving on. Aries. Now, Aries, moon is right on you. The first house of self, soul's purpose, appearance, beginnings, and first impressions. It's a time for all Aries souls to evaluate themselves, their path. And with Mars and Scorpio sitting on Aries' eighth house for April born Aries, that is, the Pluto direct on the 13th, use this opportunity to grow from the lessons learned, because Pluto's been in retrograde since May. And now you release what no longer serves your better self and you progress forward. That's what Pluto retrogrades are all about. In fact, there is a lot going on October 13th for Aries. It's an opposition between Venus and Neptune, could bring a false sense of perception within the first house of self and the seventh house of unions and partnerships. And it's probably best to take a step back to reevaluate the matter before acting on impulse. This full moon is a very impulsive moon, and sometimes those impulses can get us in trouble. So just be aware of that. Make your move when the moon is new in Libra on the 21st and infuse with the power of Venus for love, beauty, and riches. Blessed full moon, Aries. All right, moving on. Aries full moons can bring out some negative energy these next few weeks, and it is best to prepare for what is ahead. Now, October 9th is a day of caution that brings plutonic energy. And the 14th is another day to be aware of, my paid subscribers know this, but there's like this strange energy happening. I could only give you one date, the 14th, but it's where a moonic phase is colliding with an Uranic phase. So I gave you the highest date of concentration of energy, which is the 14th, but it's going to get kind of interesting here. This is where the USA can make headlines, probably in a negative manner, where forced relocations are common, as well as Mother Nature creating havoc for the world at large. So just be prepared for that. Now, shocking news could be ahead with space, aeronautical issues, fault lines, electricity, weather, and strange and bizarre. And I highly would recommend, if not flying, right around the 15th or so, Beware. Now, Aries energy, especially when full and moving into a wanting phase, can have a detrimental impact on the world at large. I keep reiterating this because I have to. And in my personal opinion, I think I said this to my Patreons. I will say it to the general public. Um, you're not really hearing a whole lot about it in mainstream media, but I think that whole flotilla thing that's going on down there in the Mediterranean will spark some sort of beginning. I don't want to say a war, maybe a revolution, um, all over the world, and the beginning of possibly World War III. If we're not in war already. Um, Genocide is genocide, regardless of who or what country is doing it. War crimes are real. And really, the entire world is watching us right now, and not in a good way. Now, on a more positive note, take these next few weeks to set up a plan for yourself for when the new moon hits. Refocus, organize, and make your move. Like when I said that moon goes new on the 21st in Libra. Mars is war. Venus, which is ruled by Libra, is peace. So set goals, put things to rest these next few weeks, and enjoy some downtime. And that's really the key to it all here is downtime. Now, I will share the tarot or the oracle card that I shared with my Patreons. And this is the appreciation card. As you could see, a woman's holding a single rose, and there's brambleberries and rose bushes in the back. And this card is really just saying you need to be thankful for the things we have. I know people out there covet and want more and more and more, but in this day and age and in this time that we're living in, it is incredibly important to show appreciation for the things that you have, because there are things in life that money cannot buy. Okay, like love, unconditional love, and family. Okay, if you have those, you are rich. Remember that. Okay. All right. So I am wishing all of you a very blessed full moon. Be safe out there. Watch those dates and make that moon water. Put out your crystals, tarot, all of that stuff. Get it charged. Get it ready to go. Um, and all of you out there have a blessed full moon. Okay. Be safe. Ciao.